Obviously, this is my old neighborhood. I used to teach right around the corner. This is where Michelle and I met, where we fell in love. This is where we raised our daughters, in a house just about a mile away from here, less than a mile. And that's really what I've come here to talk about today, raising our kids. I love you too. I love you too. I'm here to make sure that we talk about and then work towards giving every child every chance in life, building stronger communities and new ladders of opportunity that they can climb into the middle class and beyond, and most importantly, keeping them safe from harm. You know, Michelle was born and raised here, a proud daughter of the South Side. Last weekend, she came home, but it was to attend the funeral of Hyde Pendleton. And Hyde's parents, by the way, are here, and I want to just acknowledge them. They are just wonderful, wonderful people. And as you know, this week, in my State of the Union, I talked about Hyde on Tuesday night. And the fact that, unfortunately, what happened to Hyde is not unique. It's not unique to Chicago. It's not unique to this country. Too many of our children are being taken away from us. 2 months ago, America mourned 26 innocent first graders and their educators in Newtown. I recognize not everybody agrees with every issue. There are regional differences. The experience of gun ownership is different in urban areas than it is in rural areas, different from upstate and downstate Illinois. But these proposals deserve a vote in Congress. They deserve a vote. They deserve a vote. And I want to thank those members of Congress who are working together in a serious way to try to address this issue. But I've also said no law or set of laws can prevent every senseless act of violence in this country. When a child opens fire on another child, there's a hole in that child's heart that government can't fill. Only community and parents and teachers and clergy can fill that hole. In too many neighborhoods today, whether here in Chicago or the farthest reaches of rural America, it can feel like, for a lot of young people, the future only extends to the next street corner or the outskirts of town, that no matter how much you work or how hard you try, your destiny was determined the moment you were born. There are entire neighborhoods where young people, they don't see an example of somebody succeeding. For a lot of young boys and young men in particular, they don't see an example of fathers or grandfathers, uncles, who are in a position to support families and be held up and respected. And so that means that this is not just a gun issue. It's also an issue of the kinds of communities that we're building. Let's give more kids a chance. So we know how important families are. We know how important education is. We recognize that government alone can't solve these problems of violence and poverty, that everybody has to be involved. But we also have to remember that the broader economic environment of communities is critical as well. And that's why on Tuesday I announced, and that's part of what I want to focus on here in Chicago and across the country, is my intention to partner with 20 of the hardest hit communities in America to get them back in the game. Get them back in the game. First of all, we'll work with local leaders to cut through red tape and improve things like public safety and education and housing. And we'll bring all the resources to bear in a coordinated fashion so that we can get that tipping point where suddenly a community starts feeling like things are changing and we can come back. Second of all, if you're willing to play a role in a child's education, then we'll help you reform your schools. We want to see more and more partnerships of the kind that Ram is trying to set up. Third, we're going to help bring jobs and growth to hard-hit neighborhoods by giving tax breaks to business owners who invest and hire in those neighborhoods. Fourth, and specific to the issue of violence, because it's very hard to develop economically if people don't feel safe. If they don't feel like they can walk down the street and shop at a store without getting hit over the head or worse, then commerce dries up, businesses don't want to locate, families move out, you get into the wrong cycle. So we're going to target neighborhoods struggling to deal with violent crime and help them reduce that violence in ways that have been proven to work. And I know this is a priority of your mayors. It's going to be a priority of mine. And finally, we're going to keep working in communities all across the country, including here in Chicago, to replace run-down public housing that doesn't offer much hope or safety with new, healthy homes for low and moderate income families. And here in Woodlawn, you've seen some of the progress that we can make when we come together to rebuild our neighborhoods and attract new businesses and improve our schools. Woodlawn's not all the way where it needs to be, but thanks to wonderful institutions like Apostolic Church, we've made great progress. So we want to help more communities follow your example. And let's go even farther by offering incentives to companies that hire unemployed Americans who've got what it takes to fill a job opening, but they may have been out of work so long that nobody's willing to give them a chance right now. Let's put our people back to work rebuilding vacant homes in need of repair. Young people can get experience, apprenticeships, learn a trade, and we're removing blight from our community. If we're fulfilling our obligations to one another and to future generations, if we make that effort, then I'm confident that we will write the next great chapter in our American story. I'm not going to be able to do it by myself, though. Nobody can. We're going to have to do it together. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Thank you.